she said,
It looks like we're live. Hey, y'all. If you're out there, say hello. We are recapping Greenleaf. So if you want to hear about Greenleaf, it's episode 4. Then come join us. Say hello in the comments. Tonight I have Season, my sister, and my cousin Brittany, Be Rich. And we're so excited to recap this episode because it was a good one. Hey, KS. So wait for just a couple of more people to arrive. Burnmore, hey. Who else is out there? Iyanla. Okay, so we got Twitter, we got YouTube. Hey D. I know that there MD Terp is usually on here on YouTube. I know quite a few people like to talk about Greenleaf. So I'm gonna give it just a couple of more seconds to see who pops up. In the comments though, for those of you who are here, just give me an emoji, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Ladies, you guys can participate too. This episode, is this a thumbs up episode or a thumbs down episode?
I think it's great.
I loved it. I thought it was a great episode. Hey, David. Hey, Bonnie. Okay, so let's go on ahead and let's get it started because there was a lot that happened in this episode. And I'm actually really happy to see, because we know this is the last season. And so there's a lot of ground to cover. And I feel like with unlike with Insecure, I feel like Insecure was like very stagnant. But I feel like with Greenleaf, they're really progressing the plot each episode. What do you all think about that?
I do. I think that they're trying to find a good way to bring it to a close, to kind of like tie up some loose ends and get into the bottom of it, like confronting things.
Yeah.
So I'm happy about that because I'm like, it's so many things that they kind of like preview and then they just skipped over and got into something else. And I'm like, no, we don't need to talk about that. But Black families, we be covering up stuff.
Covering up stuff. Let's talk about the big theme of the episode. So the big theme was this will, right? So Karissa kicked up all of this stuff, and you could say Karissa, you can say Jacob, whichever way you want to look at it. This will stuff is kicked up. Season, what you drinking on?
I'm doing it Bishop Greenleaf style with some
I have some wine. I have some Pinot Noir. I had just a little bit of taste.
I didn't bring it together tonight. That's okay though.
Ready next time. Next time, you know. So let's talk about this will. So the first will left the house to the Davis family, right? And then Mac does his shady stuff that he's want to do. And now the house is in the Greenleaf household. So anyway, the whole theme, the overarching kind of like black cloud over the Greenleafs this episode was Tara. Jacob kind of kicked up some dirt a little bit, kicked up some dust by going to talk to Tara. And Lady May, as she's always on point, her like spidey senses are going off and she doesn't think it's going to be good. Season, let me start with you. What is your reaction to her?
Lady May, she gets the Oscar award for tonight. There was not one bad scene with her. She had the house down to the ground.
Yes, she did.
Shout out to Lynn Whitfield. She's an icon. She is an icon.
Yes, she's amazing.
So I just want to say that off rip. But I can honestly say, like, all right, I finally get what the hell they talking about with this will, because I just didn't get it. I've been in the dark. Because my thing was like, well, okay, what is Karissa trying to get accomplished here? Like, I just didn't understand it. So basically, she was just sending him on a wild goose hunt, hoping that he would just give up and be like, I'm gonna stay with you. There really wasn't no legit plan on her part, but he's so dumb. He's just so stupid. Why would he go ask the daughter of the man who died under suspicious circumstances anything?
Especially after all that they've gone through with Basie skanks, with Rochelle skanks. How the hell did Jacob was actually framed for embezzlement by Basie and Rochelle. So where the hell are his antennas at? So Lady May tore into Jacob. Brittany, what was your response to Lady May? Lady May's like, she taunted him multiple times, but you know, her basically how he just screwed all this up with the will and not coming to them first. What was your response? What was your reaction?
I mean, can't nobody read you like your mama anyway. You know?
I know.
So just from the jump, I knew it was gonna be a for real serious read. When he went to her and she was like, "Oh, you done painted this picture. She don't crump ass serving sandwiches." Honey, when she said
Florence Nightingale,
I fainted because it's like, now, no, you didn't brought her here and you told her she is a good woman. So what is going on? Because they didn't have some problems, right? Yeah. But I knew it was going to be a problem. One, because all of them are terrible at problem solving. I don't know why. They are complete, like, just what nobody know anything about problem solving at all whatsoever. Now, Lady Mae keeps it so real that it's like, you know she gonna get it done. But I knew from jump when she was on that fast, honey. That was gonna speak. She ain't had no food. She was feeling and hearing everything. So I already knew she was gonna get to the root of that problem. Like, nope.
Exactly.
And you see kind of like her conflict within herself too once she finds out what's kind of going on.
Yeah.
Like that scene, y'all. I was like, finally someone is listening to Karissa, because when she's talking to Jacob, she just oozes so much hatred and just indignant. So you can't really listen to her message. But when she was talking to Lady Mae, I was really happy to see Lady Mae scale back and be like, okay, tell me what's really going on. Because I got my son down here in the dining room presenting me with some, now shit done got all blown up. What happened? So I really appreciated that scene, because if there's anything I have been really trying to get to the bottom of is who the hell is Karissa? This can't, you gotta have something going on inside. And so I needed that scene.
Yeah,
because
I needed that clarity as well too.
I think what was so interesting is like Lady Mae fully went in there expecting to literally, she said, "Where are you off to?" And then she said, "To kill Karissa." And she has definitely given Karissa a run for her money. And you know, with Lady Mae, she's like a Sour Patch Kid, right? She's sour, then she's sweet, but that sweetness rubbed right off to her. She'll go back to being sour. But in that confrontation that she had with Karissa, it definitely was very, it was very much woman to woman, right? Like obviously, you know, Lady Mae, she's done her dirt, right? You know, and a little bit seeped in there when Aaron, I don't know if you guys caught that, said, "Oh, aren't you?" When Jacob said to Aaron, "Aren't you glad you're not related?" And Aaron was like, well,
I feel me on that.
So Aaron is Grace's brother. Because
remember from that relationship. When she creeped out, she had a little secret.
Yeah, I know Grace ain't Bishop's daughter, so that's
But Aaron is Grace's brother. It's messy because Aaron, I don't know if Aaron is still with Charity's ex-husband. They haven't brought him up lately, but Aaron is Grace's brother from Lady Mae's affair. And so clearly, I thought that was interesting. I thought that was interesting that Jacob kind of threw it out there, and Lady Mae, she didn't even skip a beat. Did Lady Mae even have an ounce of shame, or already Lady Mae was like, I don't know what he's talking
about. She gave that healthy, good old mama advice, like, don't do what I did. It's like, I may have, maybe not. She not confirming nor denying.
Hello, yes. But going back to that scene, I agree with both you ladies that it really did bring a lot of clarity and a lot of it made it more sense, right? Now, for me personally, I don't think that you should want to kind of keep somebody there under those circumstances. But I understand when you feel like I've forgiven you and I've sacrificed so much for you, and you can't forgive me this one thing. And so for Lady Mae to take Karissa's side there, and for skipping, you know, I'm trying to thread the needle in terms of this, or thread the conversation towards this one character story. But going through, so Lady Mae confronts Jacob, tears into him with the scripture. MD Terp says Lady Mae went from reading Karissa to sitting down, getting the tea. It did make me feel sympathy for Karissa for a second because Jacob was the hoe. Who he was a hoe. But MD Terp said when Lady Mae starts leading with scripture, you know she about to read you for cuss. Ain't nothing like that church cuss out.
Woo!
I thought she was gonna just straight cuss that girl out, but she did not. It was like
she's gonna make you think about it tonight too. See that's how they be weaving that scripture in you real quick. Snap your soul up.
I don't have that talent. I have the talent of the cuss out, but I don't have the talent of the scripture cuss out. I ain't got that talent. I ain't acquired.
You already know. That's just a saint's graduation, okay? That's all.
But okay, well, so let's talk about it. So Karissa and Lady Mae have their meeting of, I don't want to say this. It popped into my head, so I gotta say it. The whole minds, you know. They both stepped out and they had their little discretion. I'm not saying you all you scared, but I'm just saying they had the little discretions. Their entanglements. They had their entanglements. And so they kind of bonded a little bit. Like, I know you ain't trying to do me because remember Bishop had an entanglement with Lady Mae's sister. Okay. So it's all coming together in terms of the entanglements. So like, listen, don't throw glass if you live in, what is it? Don't throw stones if you live in a glass house.
Yeah.
So anyway, so Lady Mae takes that energy that she had for Karissa to Jacob and browbeats the hell out of Jacob with scripture.
As she should.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, hold your son accountable. Come on.
That's what we need. That's what they need. Hold them accountable all the way through. I hope mom is.
And then she was like, you know, that's how you feel about women, and that's how you must feel about me. And it's like something he has had to see or feel something growing up to where he just don't give a damn about his wife and her feelings and his marriage. You know, like what? Where did he learn that? Because it's like you gotta hate women to treat women like that. Absolutely. And I would feel something. My number one goal as a mom is to not raise a fuck boy. I would be so hurt.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
if they out here on why. I mean, I would have to be like, where did I go wrong? What did he not see in this household? So I like that. I like that whole.
I mean, Lady Mae, she killed everything. But for all of her fire and fury, for all of her scripture and her righteous indignation, and for her tearing into you, when it was time for when it was time for Jacob to go have that conversation that Lady Mae demanded that he had, he refused to do it. Yeah. What did you guys think about that scene? Season, I'll start with you. What did you think about Carissa's reaction? She tried to kind of beat it out of him, that apology. She tried to literally put the words in his mouth, and he just refused to do it.
Now, see me, I just would have stand there. You know that gif with Diddy.
Oh, with Diddy and the guy? Yeah.
Looking at me, and we just would have been looking like, all right, what you got to say? Because I wouldn't have put no words, and he didn't really get the chance to speak, and he heard what she wanted to hear, and he was like, nah, I'm not there. Yeah. I'm not finna do all that. So I felt like, you know, she should have just heard what he had to say, but she tried to give him that script, and he wasn't here for it, and he was like, yeah, no, I can't do this. She should have just let him talk, because we would have been watching paint dry up in there together. Like
it would have been hello. You know, it was not sorry. It was just not sorry. Brittany, what was your reaction?
Oh, I was shocked. You know, for me, I always think about some of those past little situations where he's like, ooh, she over here and gave him the words to apologize. Yeah. No, you apologize. At first I was like, is this a monologue? Because I was confused. Don't take a bathroom break during that. But I'm like, what? And I was blown away, because I could tell, like, he's replaying in his mind, like, I can't keep going in this. I'm not gonna say a thing. And then her just saying like, wow, you for real not gonna do this no matter what. It was like just the realization of it's done.
Yeah.
Watching a relationship for real, like that's it. It's no way to recover this. And that was heartbreaking.
And Indy Terp says that wasn't nothing but male ego and pride that Jacob couldn't forgive Karissa. Like so many men, it's a double standard. He can hold around, but she doesn't want and he can't forgive. You know what I took away from that scene, I mean, first of all, he gave her nothing. He was like, I'm giving you nothing, not a damn thing. I don't care what my mama said. Now I know that the fear of Lady Mae was in his head. And but he just couldn't bring himself to do it. And but I felt like that was the closure conversation that was needed for Karissa to just have a little bit more dignity than Judy DeMars or to Judy Whitmore, which we're going to get to. But I think for her, I don't even think it was as much about wanting to save the family or save that relationship as it was about wanting just the little bit of grace that she extended to him for all of these years and all of these affairs. And he just refused. And I think for her, that was the gut punch that she really needed, that this just isn't just even an ego thing for him. It's an actual depravity towards her as a person and what she sacrificed for their relationship for all this time. And so now she's willing to move on without bringing the family into it. Now, of course, she's opened up Pandora's box, and it's not just her, it's Jacob. They both opened up Pandora's box, but I just to put a bow on that particular arc, I think that at the end of the day, Jacob is a scumbag for cheating on her. But if you take nothing else from this, don't be mad when you forgive that lying, dirty, low down, sorry, sack of shit cheating husband or mate of yours, and they don't extend the same courtesy to you, chick. It's not, they don't have the same energy. So if you're gonna accept it, then go on ahead. Accept. Somebody said, but she did STD him. Well, somebody also said he got that baby too. That baby by Mac's secretary might be his too. So he definitely did his share of dirt. It don't matter. But at the end of the day,
planning his new relationship too, child.
He is. He got his whole new situation going over here. But on the other hand, too. So listen. At the end of the day, listen. If you accept somebody cheating, then that's on you. That's not on the other person. You don't get to throw it up in that person's face and be like, "But I accepted all your cheating." That's not how that works. Because men aren't really built like that. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, women probably aren't built like that, but women ain't gonna get 5 or 6 affairs before a man is over and done with. He probably kill your ass before he take you back.
I think what made it easier for her too is that Lady Mae gave her that little, and she's like, you know what? Now I could, because it's tough when the mama don't like you, husband mistreating you, this, that, and you're like, wait a minute, come on. I need somebody to show me some love.
I think for sure Lady Mae having that little like come together moment was like, okay, fine, I'm not gonna be the villain in all of this. So I thought that was, at the end of the day, I'm sure there's still gonna be more back and forth with them, but at the end of the day, like I said, don't cheat. Don't accept somebody cheating thinking you're gonna get a pass. If you're gonna cheat, then do it quietly. Don't get no STD. My friend Quinn says, dang, I shouldn't be watching this. I'm just in season 1. Quinn, you way behind. You're gonna have to catch up and come back next week. Okay. But another thing too is, the other part about it though is don't just be miserable. Like here's the thing, and we're all married, right? So the thing with me, a lot of people didn't get the whole Jada and Will thing when they said we ride together, we die together, bad marriage for life. Like for me, the way I took that is I didn't take it as like be miserable together. The way I took that is like we have to be together. We have to be together because we love each other that much, and we just cannot have life without each other. That's how I feel about my husband. But it also means like there might be some bad times and you push through. Caesar is completely laughing and not agreeing with anything I'm saying. But that was my interpretation based on my marriage. I'm not gonna speak for anybody else's marriage. But it's Caesar. Go ahead before I wrap my point. Go ahead. What you got to say?
Well, I mean, I'm the only divorcee. This is my second amazing. This is my last marriage, but I am 100%. I am a fan of divorce. So because I had read that little comment they made where bad marriage for life, and I'm like, well, they got the money for that, but there's a lot of people out here who broke and struggling together. You could do bad by yourself, okay? Yeah. That goes for and women. You don't have to do none of that. So
and I don't condone bad marriages, be clear. What I'm just saying I didn't interpret it like literally have a shitty fucking toxic marriage like Karissa and Jacob. The way that I interpret it is that you have to be together, whether it's bad in that moment or whether it's bad in that situation. You push through. Brittany, you're the tiebreaker. How did you see the interview? And if you did, then how did you interpret it?
I definitely seen the interview. I think that it was them trying to make light of a very awkward and heavy situation, and I don't think that they just got it right. They tried to play something that everybody would know, and that wasn't the time for that.
Okay. I'm on an island.
But I'm with you. I can't do the bad marriage for life thing. It's so heavy for me. It seems a little heavy.
I think that I think married couples should come to a solution for every single problem they have, and sometimes that solution is to dissolve the marriage.
I got it. I'm not team toxic relationship. Okay, I'm not. And that was where I was going with it. If you have a shitty relationship like Jacob and Karissa, please get a divorce. It's not that serious. Don't be miserable. Don't be together just because, I've forgiven him 20 times for cheating and it's time for him to forgive me. Like, no, just cut your losses and go for
it. Famous multimillionaires who have had an open relationship for decades, y'all can stick together till the end. Do work. Please watch me.
I've told my husband my red line is taking a bitch to a concert. Like for me, I'm like, listen, that's when you're really slapping me in the face because that's my shit. How I feel about
nobody go eat there for me. You can't do nothing but look at each other. If you gonna have a meal, you are offended me. Don't give nobody my food. I need all my plate.
We can work through anything, but you taking a bitch to a concert. Don't have her don't have her DM me. I was front row at the concert. Oh, bitch, we getting a divorce. Part of that. We gonna figure it out. We gonna have this bad marriage and we gonna figure it out. But anyway, okay, I've gotten way off. I'm going way off the thing. But listen, like I said, if you're miserable like Jacob, please get a divorce. Please get a divorce. Okay, we're not saying stick together. That's not what I'm about. Okay, but anyway, all right. So that's that with that. Let's move on to AJ, and we're gonna go through that because I think he's like one of the least interesting characters, right? But AJ chooses Noah over Grace. Grace is obviously feeling some kind of way about that. I don't think that whole thing is particularly interesting, but I'm just going to skip to this. I always love Bishop's words for Grace. Always on point. See, then what do you have to say about that?
When he chose Noah, I mean, my eyes rolled down the street, child. I was like, he don't know if he want to love or hurt Grace. Like he battles so much with how he wants to deal with Grace in the relationship. And it's just like, I get it. She can be real annoying, how she stands there after every scene, kind of dumbfounded. Like, it has to be kind of hard to communicate with someone like that all the time. And she can be a little overbearing for someone who just, abandoned him at birth. But she kind of just she didn't take her time cultivating a relationship with him. And, I feel like he kind of made that decision more so just to get away from her. I will have to see. I mean, they haven't really showed much of Noah for me to really say if it's a good situation or not. I mean, Noah got his own shit to deal with. So
not really.
I don't really.
He's getting divorced, so he's a bachelor.
Yeah, okay, he's a bachelor, but I don't know how quick. I'll just roll my eyes. Like, of course he's gonna choose Noah. Like,
yeah.
But Bishop, honey, when he laid down that advice and was like, that may be all that you was put on this earth to do for AJ, I said, amen. Because you can want so much for somebody, and you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So I was just like, Grace, you better hear that.
Yeah. Brittany, what was your reaction?
Oh, Grace, free yourself from it. She wanted to cover that time so bad, and I know how tough that can be when you feel like, you got to make up for lost time. But no, just be present. And if somebody don't want you in the present, let them go on. You've tried, tempted, but at this point, I feel like she's taking emotional abuse from him and mistreatment because she feels like she deserves it from her decision, her mistake. And no, he don't know that man. And all of that was out of spite. It was just like an uppercut for him to get her one last try, to try to make her feel inadequate in every scenario. And at some point, you got to realize that even your kids could be a little toxic and hurtful to you, and you can't allow anybody in that space to break you down because she is getting beat like big time. He's affecting her self-confidence and everything. For the first time, I'm looking at Grace and I'm like, Grace don't know what to do with her life right now.
Yeah.
She has nothing to focus on other than him. She's not a pastor anymore.
That's crazy.
I guess Darius done up and left. She got a little bit to do with, trying to get to the bottom of the ages that was. So she got that, but she bored. The baby girl ain't got nothing. But you're right. She's put up with. That's my main issue with her character is she just lets people come and dump on her. And when the scene is over, she just sit there or she says, you know what? I'm out of here. And it's like, girl, no.
She never really dishes it back. Let me read some of these comments. AJ is living in denial. AJ said he was raped in prison through Grace into shock. That's true. Lady may keep door open to family for Noah. I think that we haven't seen the last of Noah and and Grace and Lady May definitely her face light up like, okay, the first person I've come into contact with that I don't despise today. Deborah says, I think AJ should get to know his dad, Noah. Noah was treated unfairly in the first place and needs an opportunity to get to know and help his son. And in fairness, yes, Noah had no idea Grace was pregnant. He did not consent to her giving the baby up for adoption. She ran off. So that's very unfair of him to him. She cannot recover time, just offer support and love from afar. He has to come to her. I think AJ choosing Noah is because he's trying to avoid his feelings right now. It was a defense mechanism. But when he kissed Grace on the forehead at the end, that touched my heart. She needed that. I was very touched by that. Noah makes Grace sick. Wow. Okay. So I want to respond to it. You had to answer the comments. So here's my thing. What I'm thinking when it comes to AJ is I think he has this dark cloud waiting over him. He had this secret about him. He has this trauma. Let's be clear. He has this trauma from being given up for adoption. He has this trauma of being raped in prison. He has this trauma of being HIV positive. He had this secret that he's hidden. He's coming into his family's life as a convicted person with secrets. And then they have all this running with the law. And so he has a lot of baggage. when it comes to Noah, he doesn't have that same degree of baggage with Noah because Noah hasn't necessarily been around to that extent. And so I think what Noah offers a little bit more of like, I just want to get to know you, but without that pity. Because Grace always has so much pity when it comes, yes, pity, and she has guilt. And I don't necessarily see that from Noah. Noah is kind of like chilling. He's like, Grace, sit down. Grace, what's the problem? Let's have dinner. Like Grace, Noah is not as weighted. Noah is not weighed down by this. And I think that that's what Noah is choosing. I don't think that it's a slight against Grace. I think what he's just choosing is kind of a blank set. Like, when you have a situation, a relationship, and it's fucked up, and somebody views you a certain way, you're like, you know what? I don't need this shit. I'm out. I'm going to find somebody that doesn't look at me like a scumbag, that doesn't look at me like I'm just fuck up or whatever. And so I think that's what it's about. But I do I believe it was MD. Yeah, MD Terp said, I do think that moment when Sophia and Zora come in and they're like trying to get him to stay, and he seemed very, very heartened by that. I know, Season, you're like rolling your eyes. But
was they only seen? Yes, Lord, I know them, girl.
I know. But and Grace coming in again, I think Grace is very heavy-handed a lot of times. This was her trying to not be heavy-handed, but she was still heavy-handed. Yeah. But I do think that that AJ was gracious. I know I'm probably on an island here, but I think that he was gracious towards her in that moment, knowing that, listen, I need this for myself. I need a clean slate. I need to go do my own thing. I need this relationship with my father that doesn't have the same level of baggage that it has with you. But I know what you need from me right now is you need a little bit of consoling, and you need a little bit of like, I'm going to be okay. I'm okay with you. It's no love lost. It's no hard feelings. That's how I interpreted that. How do you all interpret that? That kiss on the forehead and just that scene with Grace and AJ.
Well, I thought it was manipulation.
You thought it was manipulation? What? Okay. Well, what did you see that I didn't see? Because I did not take that at all.
The forehead kiss to me is just so toxic in Black movies anyway. So Blacks, it's like, I'm gonna let you treat you, but let you know. I'm gonna give you love you though.
Okay. You guys in the comments. You guys leave your comments.
I think that I'm just playing. I do think that he wanted to try to make the transition easier, not so mean, because people know when they're mistreating you, even if they can't always say it. And my husband do it all the time, actually. When he mean to me, he be trying to like butter me up and say little nice things. We know how they do it,
Yeah.
So that's a man's defense of like, okay, I know you mad at me, but there you go, you kind of just let them go on about their business. So I thought it was sweet. I was like, oh, but then I was like, he be trying to hurt her.
It was a sweet side eye.
Yeah.
Steven, what was your reaction to that? You're the tiebreaker.
No, I agree with Brittany. I thought it was cute, but it was like, you could have gave your mama a hug. You could have been like, mom, this ain't nothing personal. I love you, but I just need da 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 da. And he cussed out on the stairs. See, this is why I'm out of here, because you always woo woo woo, and then he gonna give her a forehead kiss and then bounce. Like, nah, man, could have been more of an adult than that. But it was cute. No, it was nice. I was glad he threw her that little bone at the end. I was. He threw her.
Literally, he is like, he has HIV. He's a rape survivor. He was given up for adoption. He just tried to kill himself. Don't you think he deserves a little bit of a break from Grace and her shit and her fucking heavy-handedness? Like, I don't know. I feel like he told her, he set the boundaries up front, and she violated the boundaries that he set by, because he said, I'm telling you this and I don't want to talk about it anymore. And she clearly did not abide by that with the whole, this is a doctor and having all this kind of stuff. So I think that she violated the boundaries that he told her, which he's not obligated to tell her, but to be clear about that. And I just feel like he is balancing trying to not be an asshole towards her, even though kind of like how Charity made the Grace thing about her. I feel like Grace is making what's going on with AJ about her. And I feel like AJ is dealing with his own shit. That's how I feel. But I think that we've all made our feelings clear. Let me just go back and read some of these comments, and then we'll move on to I think, wait, did we cover everything? I'm gonna have to go back and read my notes and see if we covered everything. Let's see. MD Terp says, yes, trauma, unresolved trauma. Exactly. Come on, Dr. Reese. I'm gonna read compliments. Okay, I'm not gonna spit past that.
We did do that.
Come through. But that was 10 minutes ago. That was 6 minutes ago. So it might not be what I was talking about now. Come through with the psychology. Noah offers balance and no judgment. AJ is dealing with a lot. Noah offers a clean slate for AJ, and they both didn't know about each other. Reynolds says, glad you're supporting my friend Desi Ross. Great Black show. We love her. Well, I love her. Deborah says, I agree with your assessment. I think he cares for his mom, but he needs a calm place to sort things out. And I think he can find that with Noah. D says, yes, good point on the forehead kiss. So I think that's agreeing with y'all on the forehead kiss. Burnmore says, should have been quiet about it. Gigi, typical mother who needs and wants to make up for lost time, guilt-ridden. And D Williams agrees with Burnmore, says, yes, she should have it. No need to have that convo then. Okay, so that was, I think, the last topic. We didn't talk about Tara, but let me get to Charity and Phil DeMars and Judy. I just have to say, Judy is a demonic little asparagus twig bitch, ain't she? Oh my God. Every time I see her on the screen, I just feel like I need an exorcism. Let me burn some sage around up in here. What do you think, Brittany?
I can't. First of all, I knew it was going to be a problem because that prayer she prayed last week had no power, no seasoning salt on it whatsoever. So
what oil?
Ain't no oil, no nothing. She's crazy, and she's so evil.
She is.
It's everything about her. She's so jealous. And this week I was just so disappointed in Phil. I mean, he made me feel like creepy crawly all over. Like I've been disappointed in him in past weeks, but today was one of those days. Was like, if I saw him, I would be Jada, like running down in that. When she saw,
yes, from a low down dirty shame. Yes.
I would have just had to jump on him because he's off the chain.
Somebody needs to shake the shit out of him. Just shake.
Oh yeah. He's off the chain. Yeah, I can't. Judy didn't wreck my whole little spirit this week, and she is on some power trip stuff that is just off the chain. So I don't know how they even got through that scene, because even for play, I can't play like that.
No, some people agree in the comments. There's something very demonic about her. There's no godliness in her whatsoever. That jealousy, that vindictiveness, that power trip that she's on. And Charity also has some of those qualities as well, but she's a woman scorned, so I can kind of understand. I'm not putting them on par with each other. Be clear.
Charity though.
The thing with Judy is Judy's not acting like a woman who won, right? I mean, may the best bitch win, right? She's not acting like somebody who got the guy, who got the job, who got the church, who has it all going for her. She's acting like a sore loser. What do you think, Steven?
I've been and said I don't have no time for this white antagonist. Every time I see her on the screen, I'm just like, do I really have to sit and watch this white woman terrorize this girl and use a black man as a puppet? I'm just not here for that whole storyline at all. I think if they weren't engaged, if they were just there, like, the fact that they're engaged, and it's so many layers to that whole thing that it's just so irritating as a black woman to watch that, right? And I will say it again, I think they're trying to do this major buildup on Phil's like conscience and he's gonna do the right thing in the end for his people and Charity. I do feel like they're still trying to have this build up, but she just irritates me. And I'm just like, oh, why couldn't she be Black or Latina or something? Just to see this old pasty, stick little white girl. And then Charity thinks she really doing something. Charity, you not busting a grape over there with your insults, and you're not doing nothing. You really just embarrassing yourself. And I was so embarrassed for her when Grace walked up and heard that woman going in on her. Charity really thought she handled it. That was the worst thing. I couldn't sit by and let nobody talk to my sister like that.
No.
That whole
But Grace let people talk to her any all kind of way, so she wasn't gonna be no.
When y'all come together, ain't gonna be an ounce of attitude. Y'all dragging each other through the mud. Ain't nobody got nothing to say. I said this is too much for me. It was no.
At a certain point, you gotta just smack a bitch. It ain't no arguing. Like you be arguing with people. Like if I had a gun, I would just shoot this bitch right now. Like that's the only way to get through to some people. I'm not trying to say about shoot people. I'm just saying. I've been in arguments before with people where I'm like, I would totally shoot this person right now if I had a gun. Obviously, it was the internet argument, which is even worse. But I'm just saying, like you have to try to go back and forth with a scumbag, and you're like, this person is going to double down and triple down and dig in so hard that the only way that's going to solve this is violence. Like that's how it has to happen with Judy, because like just going back and forth, like she's completely depraved or whatever. But let me read some of these comments because there's some pretty funny comments. Let's see. That Judy Heifer ain't no Christian with all that evil. Burnmore says she's demonic. MD Terp says, and Charity still lying to her family. Talk about she quit. Heifer, you were fine. We're going to talk about that. Charity got both their numbers. Oh, she got their numbers. I think Judy is just as cunning as Charity. Just as I think Phil has made himself clear about what he wants. He wants to be the pastor regardless, and he doesn't care about either woman. Charity is a fool who just wants a man, any man. Skinny Asparagus, Lady May said, Charity still in love with Phil, dumb bitch. Phil and Judy were married before, so they have history. Were they married or were they a couple? I don't know. I don't remember them being married.
They was messing around before she married Ken.
Okay. I hope it pays off because Phil has not earned my belief in him. Judy knows that Phil loves Charity, and is settling with her because of the church. Okay, let me finish this comment. If the church wasn't in play, Phil wouldn't have anything to do with alabaster olive oil. D says, say that season. KS says, beat Judy ass. Charity is embarrassing. Yes.
She's embarrassed.
Puka says, do you believe that Black women are colorists or no? What's colorism have to do with anything? I don't know how to
about.
Burnmore says, really recent. Okay, let's see. Here's the thing. I agree with you saying. The racial aspect of it definitely compounds the insult, right? Because it's already injurious, but now it's like even more insulting. Like Rochelle was giving bitches a run for their money. Okay, Latoya Lucky coming in with her hair. She had her cake. She had her suits on. I was obviously rooting for Lady May. Don't get me wrong, but she was the bad. She just had her act together, and even Grace, buddied up to Rochelle. She got the job done. Judy, though, was just conniving little demonic little force. But anyway, what I will say though is that I would have liked Charity to have a little bit more dignity. Like Judy fired her. Let's just be clear. And then when Charity went to appeal to Phil DeMars, he was like, whatever Judy said. And I thought that Charity got some digs in, but at the end of the day, you've been going off on this fool for how many weeks now, or day, in the history and the timing of the show, a couple of days, and it's not really getting to him, not really. And the thing that got to him when he was in that scene with Judy, it wasn't his character being like a piece of shit. It was that maybe the church wasn't going to be successful. And that's very telling about really how to I don't know if it was your point or somebody's commented point. He doesn't care about any of these women. All he cares about is ambition and his own success. And I think that it didn't resonate with him how he's dogged out Charity. It didn't resonate with him how he's used Charity. It didn't resonate with him how he is a complete pushover. What resonated with him is that he might have done all this and it goes down.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with that more. That's all he cares about. He wants that win. That's it. Career, money, whatever position, title. And what upset me too is even in that showcasing that when Grace and Charity had that conversation, she gets sad that she was giving like information about this guy who clearly doesn't love her. And I was like, yet again, you feel some type of guilt about showing or giving secrets about a man that disrespects you, and your family has been disrespected by him and everything he's connected with, and you feel nothing. And that was like, oh my goodness, I wanted to cry there because she's selling out everybody for a dream that is never going to come to pass anyway.
He's stupid.
Yeah, and all of that over an associate pastor, which is like not anything more than what her own family was willing to offer.
That she got fired from 30 minutes later.
Oh, I know.
First of all, she can't even preach, okay? So she really needs to.
She can't even pick a PowerPoint. You got fired an hour.
Yeah.
Listen.
For lunch.
Jesus.
Okay.
She's been writing hymnals since she was a child, and Jesus needs to fix it because it ain't it with her. It just ain't it. It ain't happening. I'm not moved by her. She can't even get a doggone PowerPoint together. Yeah. How is she supposed to? She just really ain't got what it takes.
Yeah.
But I do think, to your point, Brittany, it was very telling how she had to have her arm twisted just to help out her family, even though she just got blatantly disrespected. Yeah. Grace should not have had to appeal that hard to her to get her to, to help the family out. And then she gave Grace practically nothing. I didn't understand the point of the scene with Grace and Phil DeMar's father. She learned nothing from it. That was completely
call him back, bitch. Ain't nobody gonna hang up in my. I'm be like, look, you ain't have to do all that. I just need to know what your wife was doing with so and so.
Obviously, she should have had Darius's character handle that because she's not a.
Just come back.
She just like, because you're not about to hang up in my face. I'll be like, this is Shirley. Hello, you are not about to hang up in my face.
She should have said Lady May, because Lady May would have got it out of him. Yeah, Lady May would have got out of him. Okay, I'm going to read a couple more comments. Y'all don't think he actually fell for Charity? I think in the beginning he was playing her, but I think he actually fell for her. Do y'all think that he fell for Charity for real?
I do. I think the way they try. Yes, I think the way they trying to build it up. I think I can see, because I'm trying to get into the mind of the writers here, which ain't that hard because they're very transparent. And things can go in any direction, but I really do think him and Charity gonna end up together. I think he's gonna have a come to Jesus moment, and he gonna go on and go on to their church. That's what I think.
Brittany,
because why else they spend so much time focusing on him every time Charity cusses him out, and he just sits there and stirs with it. They do it every single time. And it's like, they have to be building up to something.
What do they have, Brittany?
Let me say, probably before you started talking, I didn't think that was the direction, but I could see him during that little episode, that proposed entanglement with, on the couch.
Yeah.
That he was reflecting like, man, here's this woman here and the things that we've been through, and his heart and his mind is elsewhere. Also, I believe that he has a fear based on, Charity saying that it won't make it by Tuesday, that's lingering in the back of his mind. And some may call it a prophetic anointing or a plot. but whatever it is got him shook, like, oh wait, hold on, what does she know, and should I be trying to get over there back to her if she's in a higher position to shut this down, because they are doing some crazy stuff, and I'm sure he knows the back end of all the illegal activities that they are doing to get this church to work. So he probably is thinking like, I probably need to try to dabble at both places and see which way I should be going. So I could see him actually liking her and thinking that this business thing is about to fail. So let me get somewhere where I can at least have somebody that I kind of like.
Yeah, I'm still totally skeptical. I can understand, maybe I'll give you guys the point that maybe obviously he's not going to tell Judy, yeah, I'm thinking about Charity because I saw feelings for her. He's going to tell her, oh, I'm worried about the church. So I will concede that. But I mean, if Phil had an opportunity to use whatever leverage he had to not end up with an arranged marriage, right? I mean, if he had a card, the card to pull would have been before having to dump his fiance and marry the boss's daughter. So I don't know if he has the leverage, and Charity is too stupid to put two and two together. Let me read some of these comments. Burnmore says, Lady Mae is feeding her pastorship. Let me see. I think I might have read that. That tells me that Charity is not pastor material. She needs to stick to singing. I agree. Charity been power tripping for a while also. I definitely agree with that. I just think that Charity's not good at power tripping like Lady Mae and even Judy is. Can't believe Grace even told her that info. Charity is not trustworthy. She plays both sides to get what she wants. Charity just ended up getting played to me. I haven't seen any of her chess moves work out for her. If I missed it, then y'all let me know.
No, she can never execute.
She playing checkers. Everybody else is playing chess.
They play Uno.
Okay, she in the season, and when we play this game Kaluki, right? And so like in Kaluki, right? So each round you're working on a different goal. And so like, let's say the round is 3 sets. We're all working on 3 sets to win the round. She's on 2 runs in 1 set. You're not going to win the round if you're not working on the same thing everybody else is working on, Chad. She just always working on the wrong stuff. But anyway, okay, let me see. Let's see. Yes, they're building it up that he fell for her. No, Phil is power tripping too. I think he just wants power ultimately. That's where I'm at with it. MD Sharp says, yes, the look on his face when Charity reads him looks like a man who regrets what he did to her and feels bad that he has to stay with redheaded heifer because of the church. Okay, Phil's heart and Jones leading him to Charity, but Asparagus was involved with Phil before. Yes, check. Too jealous of her agenda fails. Oh, Burnmore, I think that's a good point. She's jealous, and she's doing it from a sense of thirst, right? Instead of a sense of purpose. Yeah. Like she's like, oh, I can do this. I'm just as good as this person. And she's just looking for that validation. Yeah. And if it's really a calling, and I'm not a super religious person, like, so I don't want to speak in those terms, which I'm not equipped to do. But if it was really a calling, do you have to backstab and connive your family to get there?
Yeah.
I don't think so. So just the last comment, last thing before we wrap it up. Tasha James, right? So Bishop goes, has a conversation with Tasha James. He seems convinced that it went so well. The family gathers, and of course, Tasha calls him. Or Tara, I'm sorry, it's Tara James. So then, of course, Tara calls him, and she was thinking about, like, you know what? And now I come to think about it, I think I might want that big ass house. Now, here's the thing, girl. Do you have big old house money? Because you're working in the mission right now, Chair. Big ass house got property taxes. It got security. It has housekeepers. It has groundskeepers. Just because a will 30-something years ago might have left it to your mom or your daddy or whoever, don't mean that you're equipped to take over the house. That should be in foreclosure in no time. What do y'all think is going to happen with this whole house situation? Is it going to turn into, and I have to return to Charity lying to her family about getting fired versus quitting, but I'm going to circle back around to that. But do y'all think Well, go ahead. Season
We can
what?
skip Charity line.
Okay.
But
Charity's trying to save face with the fact that she's saying I quit and trying to be like, oh yeah, I quit. I told him. Don't nobody believe that, Charity. Okay, bye. Anyways, what do you think? What do you guys think is going to happen with this Tara James in-house plot? Do you guys expect that this is going to be a thing where they have to buy her out, or that they're going to have to lose the church and the house? What do y'all think about that? Brittany, I'll start with you.
This is a blackmail. And see, I knew he came in there jogging like he just fixed everything. And we already know, like, if you ain't got no paperwork signed, if you ain't got no hush hush, don't tell nobody agreements signed, and some paperwork that say some stuff that's gonna protect you, it's not a handshake. Because I'm telling you, that girl, she is probably tired of living in the conditions. And even though people want things and they're not really privy on how to maintain things, but it doesn't stop them from like, I want that. And I don't care if I get that and lose that, I want it. And
oh my gosh, yes.
So that might be her little thing. Like, look, I just want to, even if it's just for a month or a day, I'm gonna this house because it's my daddy house. That's I really feel like he shouldn't have done that trip alone. He should have had his family with him to support him. Some lawyer, like, if you don't want to bring Lady May, at least bring the son or Aaron with the lawyer, somebody, so we can talk about some hard work, something. But you have so many private conversations. Yeah, like I think for the conversation that he had and for the details that he gave, she's gonna want that house, or she's gonna want something, and it's gonna be a big old showdown again, I think.
But it's also episode 5. I mean, we don't have time for a big showdown. So, Season, do you think that Lady May is going to handle this? I know you didn't get to see the previews because you watch it on the own app, but just knowing what you know about Lady May, knowing what you know about all this stuff, do you see Lady May handling this situation with Tara?
I'm sure she will. I do think it's going to come down to some type of money or support or partnership going down. We still don't know who she called when Jacob left, so I think that's going to come up. But yeah, she's definitely not gonna go away. I mean, and if they invite her to that house and she roll up in that house, she really gonna be like, oh, okay. So you mean to tell me this might be my little stuff? Like, they gave her way too much information, and I'm just so annoyed with it because he never even had to go
he gave
down there. He's not a private investigator. What are you doing? Like, it just this episode proved he should have told his parents a long time ago what was going on with him and Karissa, squash that. Now he's created an even bigger problem. But I don't see them like losing the house. I think that she just gonna want some money for her mission and go and kind of go away, or they might have some kind of partnership thing going on for with the church.
Yeah, I think that's probably more likely. At the end of the day, Bishop, they're gonna be like, oh, Bishop was losing his shit. He was becoming senile. He had his stuff confused. They need to burn that goddamn will. That's what they need to do.
They gonna burn it. Okay.
At the end of the day, it's all he said. She said, where's the documents? You got your dad's will? No, okay, then shut the hell up. You ain't got no proof. So I think that, he said that, but I mean, if it goes to a legal battle, like Aaron already said, then it's not going to be a winning case for them. And if they destroy the will, then there you go. What will? What you talking about? Second will? What you talking about? But I do think that it's an interesting plot, but one that I really want to see wrapped up very quickly, because at the end of the day, I just feel like there's still a lot happening within the family that I just want to see some more closure to. Lady May and Bishop still are not married again. And so I just think that there is some issues that are, to me, higher priority than just this whole will thing and this house thing. There's still the church thing that needs to be worked out. So I just feel like they can use their time a little bit better. But yeah, I think that's it. Let me just read a couple more comments and then we'll wrap it up. Let me see. Next week is gonna be more revealing Dee says she's talking about Charity. She's been searching for validation this whole show. MD Turk says, I'm curious to see what Lady Mae meant in the previous when she said she's been lying to her family for 40 years. There's got to be something to this. Well, I still think Mac did something. I think that was about Grace, because I think that the whole Jacob comment about, oh, you know, aren't you happy you aren't related? And Aaron kind of squirming a little bit. I think that 40 years, it aligns with how old Grace is, and the fact that nobody knows aside from Bishop that Grace is Lionel's daughter. That's what I think that's about. I don't think that it's about the will or anything like that, because she didn't know anything about the will from what it seems like from the show. Burnmore says it'll stay in the family. Kaya says the whole family gonna be put out next week, Greenleaf. Oh my God. They're going to pay some way. KS is not an optimist at all. She said, all you Greenleafs got to go. Where they gonna film the rest of the show at though if they out the house? Not in the mission.
We're gonna start at that fire, okay? Who done started that real fire? They
could burn it. Oh my God. MD Tap says Tara could get the house and sell it. She doesn't have to keep it. That's true. But why do all that when you could just get paid? Deborah Thomas says, I think they'll keep the house, but I think Lady Mae has something to do with Daryl James' death. She probably did something to get that lady to leave the house to them. I think Mac was a psychopath all on his own. I don't think that Lady Mae had to have anything to do with it. Purely. He has bodies on him. Her line last week about her prayers being answered with the Greenleafs coming to her, I think was foreshadowing. That's about Tara. Tara said that her prayers were answered. Dee says, can't wait to see what's in the box next week. Rochelle will be back, maybe. She probably called Rochelle. For all we know, Basie might still be alive. But you know what, honestly, like, wouldn't she have to share it? You know, it doesn't seem like Basie and Rochelle and Tara really have much of a relationship from what Tasha made it seem. So yeah, but that would be an interesting plot twist. But again, do we really have time for all these new plot twists? I don't really have time for. That's a possibility. Maybe the truth isn't as bad as it seems, and Tara joins them at their new church, and the skank / Greenleaf beef is finally squashed forever. Also, nothing on Bishop with dementia, Alzheimer's this week. So what's up with that? I think they kind of had a little nugget in there, like, oh, Lady Mae mentioned something about having church or something like that. And he kind of was like, oh, yeah, I put it out my mind. So there are little nuggets like that. She's acting like remarriage is I think you mean like no go. Oh, right, you're right about Grace probably in 40 years. Okay. All right. So ladies, I really appreciate the conversation. You all are fabulous. Everybody in the comments, thank you so much for all of your comments. It's been a lot of fun. Greenleaf is giving us a lot to chew on every week. I'm so sad that it's coming to an end, but guess what? We will be back next week, same time, to talk about Greenleaf. What's in that box? What Tara talk about? What Jacob and Karissa are gonna do? How it's going with Noah and AJ? Presumably, we'll find out. We will be back next week, so please join us again next week as we talk more Greenleaf.